Whoa! Thanks, OBS. Thanks for disconnecting right away, OBS. You bastard. That's an advertisement. Thanks for disconnecting right away, OBS. You bastard. Audio sounds good. The camera is really pixelated. I don't love that. Why are you so pixelated? People were like, you should turn your camera back on and all that stuff, but I've been having issues with it. So I thought I'd try it out today, but that looks really fuzzy. I don't like it. It's too fuzzy. Get out of here! Bam. No more fuzzy camera. No more. Get it out of here. Get that fuzzy camera out of here. Don't want to waste precious bit rate on a fuzzy camera. Reduce the quality of the in-game visuals. Just see a blurry pixelated outline of me. It's messed up. Okay. So I need to set up a thing, huh? I need a blocker. I need a blocker of some kind. Let's go back. Let's go to the OG. The original blocker. That people love. You're like, wow, what's with the marble? Oh, I see Queek's. I see Queek's mall. Oh, is Queek fighting who? Who could that possibly be? Oh, it's Artorias from the famous game Dark Souls. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a good blocker. Bam, not a blocker. Bam, blocker. Bam, not a blocker. Bam, blocker. Why do we need a blocker? Because we have a best of 11 today. And if you see how many games there are, you will know who wins. You know? If it's a best of... if it's a best of 11 and there's 6 games, you're like, okay, it's a 6-0 sweep. Whoever wins the first game wins the whole thing. And that's spoilers, so we need a blocker. Looks like Green 1 sent in all the replays, so I'll put his name on the left side. The Green 1 0. Persian Warrior. Also 0. Back a little bit. Get rid of France. We don't need it. And then I still have 2 minutes before the stream is supposed to start. So I can take down this giant sheet behind me since we don't need it. Camera's not gonna be on. Yeah! Yeah! We'll deal with another time dealing with why the camera's fuzzy. Don't know why it is, but not gonna deal with it today. Will making jokes. Fat kid at recess. Making an appearance back in our stream. There's only 12 people here. That is far too few people. That is way too few people. To stream video games. On a beautiful negative 25 degrees outside day. And you think I'm just doing the classic hummus exaggeration that I do. But no, actually, it feels like negative 25 where I am with wind chill. Gross. Good job, your shanks. Thanks, Will. Let me try. I'm just looking at some things. I need to get a higher bit rate again. I don't know how to do that because I think it's getting capped by internet speed right now. Internet speed test. Run speed test. Yeah. Might have to look for stronger internets. My upload speed is 15 megabytes per second. Megabits. Whatever. Seems a lot. You're saying Persian should attempt a coup and take control of NC? Sure. Sure, dude. What up, Skaven guy? Hey, Trogdor. We're waiting for people to gather. The stream's supposed to start 1 minute ago. Still have 13 people. We might just have to start and accept we've fallen off as a brand. All right. Pretty straightforward. ODM is a clan in Warhammer 3 that plays video games, and they go pew-pew real good. They have a clan leader. It is currently the green one. Persian warrior apparently wants to take over. So they're doing a best of 11 to decide who gets to be the clan leader. Should be good. Now, since it's best of 11, they cannot repeat factions. So you will probably see a lot of different factions than you're used to seeing, because after a while, a lot of factions get used up. Right. Okay. Final note's done. Let's just launch into it. Bam. Block her up while I pull up first game. This one. Demons of Chaos versus Wood Elves, of course. Game 1 with all the strongest factions available. You're going to start with the strongest factions. Trogdor, it's not early for Europe. The Europeans have betrayed us. Which is just classic them. Classic Europe. Whoa! Okay, calm down. Calm down. We got Mass Vanguard versus kind of Mass Vanguard, because it looks like, yeah, Seekers are deployed in the Vanguard, but so are the Nurglings and stuff. That seems fair. We have Dryads for the Wood Elves, backed up by Wild Riders, and then Enigmas of Gairan, the Zotes ROR, Glade Riders with Hagbane Tips, and we do have a Magey Mage. What are you, Mage of? High Mage, High Spellweaver. Got it. On the side of the Demons of Chaos, we have Heart Seekers and Seekers of Slaanesh, Hounds of the Blood Hunt. We have an Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, Svarik, the Feathered Prince with blue and pink fire, and then Chaos Furies and Nurglings. I don't know what the obsession with Svarik is. I feel like I haven't seen him win in a long time. I know he's a Tzeentch caster who has net and then blue fire, but I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of a little expensive for what he brings to the party. It's seeing a lot of Svarik losing these days. Okay. Nurglings took a bunch of damage on the charge from Wild Riders, who are now starting to fall back and get away from the Seekers of Slaanesh. Hounds of the Blood Hunt also in there, causing disruption, being a nuisance. And Wild Riders have to fall back from the Seekers. Chaos Furies and Nurglings chasing down some Wild Riders as well. This green one's attempting to get some space so we can skirmish again. We do have the Hagbane Tip skirmish cap, so they all do magic damage, which is very good against Demons of Chaos. Enigmas of Gairan are in it, taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Trying to kill off some Heart Seekers and Seekers. This is a big pileup though, and they've lost their magic damage because of the Hounds of the Blood Hunt. They have that dampen, removes magical attacks, so the Enigmas aren't doing as much damage as they might think. Svarik dives down onto the Archmage of High Magic, and there's the net. So just as I was talking about Svarik not impressing me recently, I've seen a lot of losses from him. He is going to dive down, get good attacks. But then he betrays me! Just as I start to praise him, he stands by and does nothing, as a couple Heart Seekers keep him from his prey. Never mind, you still suck, you stupid bird man! I was right! I'm always right about you! Okay. So Svark was going to do good, then he didn't. But at 1.5 minutes, the Wood Elves are already on the brink of army losses. Their full Vanguard plan did not seem to go in their favor as the Seekers and Fleshhounds just took over very quickly over the Wild Riders and Glade Riders. Demons of Chaos dominated the mobile game, lost the front line, but lost it slowly enough that then, you know, their superior mobile game is now starting to flank the Dryads and just take them out regardless. Blue fire casts from Svark onto the High Mage, doing a bit of damage as the Enigmas of Gairon are holding on as they can. Here comes a Soul Quench, but the overcast damage triggers army losses for the Wood Elves. Watch this, bam! Holy, that's funny. That's pretty funny. $5,000 IQ play beyond our understanding. Yeah. T-posing to assert dominance. Sorry, checking on chat and stream things. For the Wood Elves, very, very quick game. So not a lot of value going to be found on their side. The Enigmas of Gairon got 1,800, but everything else kind of fell flat. Persian Warriors Vark got 800, but again, in such a quick game, there's not going to be a ton of value to be found. Art Seekers and Seekers did well. Chaos Furies did very well. Exalted Flamer didn't have a lot of time to do what Exalted Flamers want to do, so I don't blame him for not getting a ton of value. Gotta remember to put the blocker up, otherwise y'all will see spoilers, and spoilers are bad. Boom, blocker. So that was the game 1. No more game 1 for you, but what about game 2? Grand Cathay versus Kislev, and Kislev brings double Little Grom, as Grand Cathay did bring Zaytang. I feel like green 1 fell for a trap here. Will wishes they added a little more dust and smoke, like a tiny nuke went off. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Grand Cathay versus Kislev. Grand Cathay not going for a box formation, instead going very spread out. 4 Onyx Crowmen, including the ROR, 4 Jade Lancers. Then we have a Dragon-Blooded Shugen Lord of Yin with Ancestral Warriors and Blossom Wind. Do have Zaytang, and then a front line of Peasant Long Spears. On the other side, for Kislev, double Little Grom. Ice Witch of Tempest with Gust of True Flight. Yeah, that's a Tempest. So, Gust of True Flight and Hail Storm. Then 2 things in the woods, one of which is the Mordheim Beowulfs, 2 Streltsy, and then a bunch of Kossars. Yeah, just a bunch of Kossars, regular Kossars. Ton of them. The Mordheim Beowulfs are here for Xiaoming. If Xiaoming was brought and he uses that big heal of his whenever he gets low, you can have the Mordheim Beowulfs on him right when it's about to proc, because you know when it's going to proc, it's based on damage. You can just stop that entire healing. Zaytang is trying to be cheeky and stay in the woods, but Little Grom is shooting through it nice and easy. And 2 Little Groms will beat Zaytang. There, finally, a cannonball hits that tree in front of him, and he shoots around the tree. But he's shooting at a Kossar, so I don't know what that's about. I think he just has Fire at Will on and hasn't been given commands yet. This Little Grom has a clean shot right onto him, so this should hit. What? What? Does he have an attack order onto... No, okay. Okay, I missaw that. I thought he had an attack order onto Zaytang. And just like oopsie poopsie missed Zaytang so much that he hit the Shugen Lord of Yin. I got very confused. Okay. Oops, I missed by like 30 degrees and hit the flying tiny lord. In case you're wondering why I'm laughing so hard, this game has some known, like, what are the odds where it'll do friendly fire because you just rolled bad on your RNG or whatever and like something crazy unlucky will happen. But it's kind of coded to do that at some times. And I thought that it was trying to be like, oh, you missed Zaytang if you hit this lady, but then she was so far out of the reasonable angle of shooting at Zaytang that I was like, damn. Damn, Warhammer 3, you're really showing all your cards. But again, I was mistaken, so I'll move on. As Little Groms and Streltsies continuing to snipe out the Yin caster, getting a lot of good damage down onto her, and Zaytang is losing the fight. Grand Cathay is going to have to get aggressive quickly, because they are not winning the ranged battle at all. Streltsy are even adding a little bit to the poke. Poke continues on. I'm a little concerned for Kislev not focusing both Little Groms onto Zaytang, because their Little Groms are going to take a lot of damage from Zaytang for every moment that they're not shooting at him. You can see, he's consistently poking them down, so they have to return fire. And they just kind of haven't been. Now this one's starting to shoot at him. I think the other one's trying to dodge, but good luck dodging Zaytang, man. Good luck, brother. Onyx Chroman's starting to move in. Cathay has flying superiority. Obviously, Kislev doesn't have any flyers, but when they land, which they actually decide to charge the Mordheim Beowulf straight up, not going to let the Mordheims get their counter charge. I actually like that. Look how much damage they're getting on the charge, rather than, of course, these Mordheim Beowulfs are going to sprint to wherever the Onyx Chroman decided to land to get a free charge onto them, so pretty clever. At first it looked a little weird, now it makes sense. Streltsy trying to line up shots in the Yin caster, but she gets down on the ground. Blossom Wind gonna go out. It'll do mild damage, but I think he mostly wanted the accuracy debuff, that his Lord didn't get hit. Minus 30 accuracy is something. A predictive hailstorm though on top of the Jade Lancers. Good dodge. Yeah, good dodge from Grand Cathay overall. In the backline, the Mordheim Beowulfs get taken out by the Onyx Chroman and the Jade Lancers teaming up. Other Onyx Chroman and Jade Lancers working together here, because this Jade Lancer provides the Yin harmony, I think. So he does help in the Onyx Chroman a little bit, and the Yang, of course, is helping him. So it's doing fine. Searing Doom in here. Who has Searing Doom? Wall. Wait, where did that Searing Doom come from? Did Cathay bring an alchemist and I just can't see them? I don't understand. I don't know what happened. Because you don't have Searing Doom. Yeah, they have an alchemist I didn't see. Hi, alchemist. You sneaky alchemist. Okay. It's a double caster here for the green one. That is a lot of Winds of Magic to invest in. You have 4 spells. Wild. Zaytang continues to fire in. Now the little Groms are dealt with in melee. He feels comfortable enough to just start shooting at the Ice Witch and taking her out. Now Kislev does have a lot more infantry than their opponents, so these guys do need to just stop and start firing around, and it looks like that could be happening. Crowmen are kind of demonic units, so if they get low enough, just expect to see them entirely delete themselves, which can be problematic. If they throws out an Ancestral Warrior Summon on top of the Kislev units, so Kislev's having a pretty bad time. But Zaytang is being forced back by Kossars of Spears. Again, interesting they're not just shooting at him, but whatever. They're trying to use their hybrid spear stats, so Zaytang, like Bone Giants, like most construct artillery pieces, really don't like fighting infantry in melee, so just getting those cheap spears on them, I guess, is effective. Both Little Groms still in trouble. One is routing right now, the other one is close to it as it's completely surrounded. It looks like Kislev is trying to take this moment to maybe kill the Yin caster that isn't paying attention. Only 1400 HP left on her. Balance power is pretty even, considering there's a full health Ancestral Warrior summon that isn't real. It'll fade away at the drop of a hat. And still, ooh, Little Grom, ooh yeah, Little Grom threw on guard mode and got a nice shot on the Incaster. Now she's routing, and when she's routing, she can't be used to dodge. So one more volley from these archers might just take her out, but Zaytang continues to poke down the Ice Witch of Tempest, which is a huge problem. And ooh, big mistake here. The Ice Witch of Tempest is staying in the fight with the Ancestral Warriors. That is a massive misplay as they are churning her up. That is 1,000 value for that summon. 1,100 and big health off of a Lord you desperately needed. Now the Grand Cathay Lord has just died, so the Onyx Chroman are that much easier to take out, and the Peasant Long Spears don't have any holding power, but unfortunately the Lord just entirely dying to the Ancestral Warrior summon is such a huge misplay! Oh no, Kislev! Oh. Damn, that is game losing, honestly. Just having your whole Lord deleted by a summon because you didn't notice it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Kislev's fighting with the last of their ability, Buy Our Blood and stuff, giving them some Unbreakable, but as soon as these Buy Our Blood start wearing off, you're going to start seeing people routing, and then the routing people will trigger army losses in a chain rout. Mr. President is Cathay Lear too for some reason. I don't know. Oh, why is all this stuff in Spanish? For some reason, when you send in something from a different language, only the Lord gets changed. That's weird. Why does she have both winds of magic items, just the summon? She has Blossom Wind, so not just the summon. Okay. I didn't love the Grand Cathay build, honestly. I thought there was too many spells to get good use out of your winds of magic. But, I mean, if you can throw out an Ancestor Warrior summon and it deletes an entire Ice Frostworm Lord, then yeah, that'll do. Little Groms did alright. They got 834 and 835 value. That's some Legolas and Gimli style shit. How much did you get? 834. Huh. 835. 1-1. Blocker back up. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. After our new player tournament last night, looks like Green One has realized that Chaos Dwarves are OP. He's going to take him versus Slaanesh. Slaanesh with 4 Seekers and 3 Fiends. Version's just like, give me all the good units. Give me all the good ones. For the Green One in Chaos Dwarves, we're trying to kite a little bit with Hobgoblin Wolf Raider bows, including Oglacon's Wolf Boys. We have a front line of Goblin Laborers, which will do literally nothing and then die. You do have 3 Cathay Fireborn, the Demon's Tongue, Iron Demon Arawar, a Bull Centaur Toruk, which negates magic damage in the area. Okay, I guess if he sticks next to the Iron Demon, that'll be okay. And then we do have Astrogoth, Iron Hand with Burning Wrath and Ash Storm. Okay. Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh about to get rear charged by the Iron Demon. The burnt debuff plus a big spooky thing next to them will get them to rout soon. I know Slaanesh is ITP, but they're not, you know, immune to dying. Chaos Dwarves are OP, yes, not Laborers though. Yeah. Rampage in for the Hobgoblin Wolf Raider so they get charged right back into Devoted Marauders. Seekers will quickly clean them up. That'll be an easy pickoff for the forces of Slaanesh, so they'll love that a lot. Meanwhile, Chaos Dwarves are catching Devoted Marauders wherever they can, and the Cathay Fireborn go nuts. Not the Fireborn, but Cathay Fireborn. Look at these little Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh. Oh, we have weird spear sickle looking things, and a giant fire demon just destroyed us all. Let's run away. Okay. So, Slaanesh lost 2 Devoted Marauders. So far, the Chaos Dwarves have just lost 1 Hobgoblin Wolf Rider. And Bounce of Power goes really heavily against Slaanesh. That's aggressive. That is far too aggressive of a Bounce of Power shift for losing 2 Marauders. Okay, let's all calm down now. Seductive Glory Rampage out from the Exalted Keeper of Secrets. So we do have Seekers and Fiends trying to set up a bit of a flank. Some Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders get in the way, but they'll also try and get out of the way. So it looks like this will still end up just being a piled-on fight. Oh, it looks like maybe a fight the Chaos Dwarves want to take, so they're not that perturbed by the Rampage, per se. Astrogoth chucks out his little Ash Storm thing. Weakness to fire damage by 20%, plus fighting on top of Cathay Fireborn. And, of course, the Iron Demon doing fire damage. Pushes away the Exalted Keeper of Secrets. The Fiends are getting worked on a bit. Seeker's actually about to rout any second now, and for routing demons, I mean, like, you know, dying. Like that. That thing right there. Elsewhere, Seekers are trying to find a fight wherever the single entities of the Chaos Dwarfs aren't. Astrogoth, the Iron Demon, and the Bull Centaur Toruk. But you can see the Cathay Fireborn do a lot worse versus the Seekers when there's not all these interfering single entities. We're actually about to lose an entire Cathay Fireborn just like that. That is a big loss, and dang, the Seekers crushed that. Goodbye, Cathay Fireborn. Elsewhere, the Iron Demon is almost done killing the Fiends of Slaanesh alongside Astrogoth. The Exalted Keeper Secrets is trying to ignore all this for now. Seekers dive in, get good damage on the Cathay Fireborn. Out of the 3 Cathay Fireborn, that is going to leave us with 1 left, and also big damage onto the other one as well. Bit of glass cannon going on as Exalted Keeper Secrets gets a couple of hits on the Bull Centaur Torek. Rear charge in from the other Seekers. Bounce power is going back to 50-50. These Cathay will not last long. There's no Goblin Laborers at their feet to absorb the damage anymore. You can see whenever a fight was taken without Goblin Laborers nearby, those Cathay just got melted. Now the single entities are swamped by a crap ton of Seekers and Fiends, which is usually the death of most single entities when you're fighting Slaanesh out in the open. Exalted Keeper Secrets does have to fall back about half HP. Not loving that. And we still have 2 Skirmish Cavalry poking away at the Seekers, who are getting increasingly low on HP. It's not all sunshine and rainbows here for the forces of Slaanesh. And if this Exalted Keeper Secrets gets stuck in a 1v3 against wounded single entities, I mean, she'll probably still die. So she definitely needs these Seekers to do a lot more work for her. And they are currently killing the Demon's Tongue. Nice rampage in onto the Ogrekhan's Wolf Boys, too, to make sure they stop shooting at stuff. We have lost 1 Fiend. The Iron Demon is still hanging in there. And another Seeker is about to fade away. Ooh, there's a full health Fiend in the distance. Okay, yeah, Slaanesh got this. Easy peasy. I mean, if there wasn't another full health Fiend in the distance, maybe, possibly, the Chaos Dwarfs can clutch this out. But no chance now. Iron Demon is a couple hundred HP from dying. There it goes. Seekers do fade away as Astrogoth and the Bull Centaur Torek try and hit the Exalted Keeper Secrets. She can get away at any time, though. You can see she just has all these friendly units to path through, and they can't follow. They get blocked up by Astrogoth and the Bull Centaur Torek. Fiends of Slaanesh gonna beat up on them. And that's probably gonna be GG. Good attempt here from the Slaanesh lads. I mean, sorry. Good attempt from the Chaos Dwarfs. Very good attempt from Slaanesh, because, you know, they won. Kabai Fireborn. Ha! Because bye can be spelled like Kadai, but also bye like bye-bye. I got it. I'm catching on. Kadai Fireborn, mixed damage value, but overall fine. The Iron Demon did fine. Bull Centaur Torek and Astrogoth did less fine. Honestly, I wonder if Astrogoth should have taken Flamestorm. I feel like that can do a lot of damage in quick bursts. Marauders didn't do too much. They just got wrecked by the Chaos Dwarfs, but the Seekers and the Fiends did what they needed to, with the Exalted Keeper Secrets helping them out where he was needed. That is a second win for Persian. And then number 4. Green one's Empire with Volkmar the Grim versus Persian Warrior on the Beastmen. The Ombra's Bestia. I like that. How much does an Iron Demon cost? The ROR Iron Demon, what is it, 1400 or 1700? I think it's 1700, but...
In the name of Sigma.
Okay. For the Empire, 2 Pistoliers, 3 Pistoliers, 2 Demigryph Knights with Halberds, 2 Knights of the Black Rose. One of the Demigryph Knights is the Royal Archer of Griffites. We have a couple Spearmen here and there. We have Volkmar the Grim with Soulfire Bombardment, Grand Shield of Faith, Grand Hammer Sigmar, and Banishment. We have a Bright Wizard with Burning Head and Flaming Sword of Ruin, and a Warrior Priest also with Soulfire Bombardment, Shield of Faith, and the Grand Hammer of Sigmar. On the other side, for the Beastmen, we have Malagor Dark Omen with just Flock of Doom, frontline of Ungor Spearman Herds, backline of 4 Ungor Raiders, and a bunch of Centaurs, some of which have great weapons, a Gorgon, and the Butchers of Kalpengard. Both builds are honestly kind of small. Kind of small. Pretty expensive. The Gorgon's going to eat up a lot of money for the Beastmen. Big, spoopy Gorgon. Now, since the green one with mostly a cavalry build, the Gorgon will have good targets, but I would worry about the Gorgon in a more standard Empire lineup, like, you know, frontline of state troops backed up by Huntsmen. You have a pretty bad time there. Flock of Doom, going to put the Empire on a timer. They do need to move in or suffer the consequences of getting Flock of Doomed over and over and over again. Can't tell whether the green one has been memeing every game, or if it's because he's the green one. Dude, his builds are crazy. I almost never agree with him. They are wild and incorrect and terrible. Double stacked priest buffs for melee fighting is the chadliest of moves. It is, but like even since Warhammer 2, the double stacking Sigmar buffs has never been good. Like it's just never been worth it. On paper it seems so good, and then in practice it's pretty whatever. Unger Raider's gonna poke Volkmar on his way out, but he has pretty high armor, missile resistance, and regeneration, so he doesn't care at all about those shots coming in. Now the Demigryph Knights are gonna charge uphill into Ungor Spearman herds. Were not braced in time. They do get a nice big charge bonus. Centaurs flanking around the sides. But they're going to have to work together with the Butchers of Kalkengard and the Gorgon if they're going to win, because you have 3 Centaurs versus 4 melee knights, all of which are better than your Centaurs, and then 3 skirmish cav as well. And the Beastmen have a heavy investment up here in all these spearmen and archers that aren't going to be able to take part in this fight, because they're just, you know, not fast enough to keep up with all the cavalry. Centaurs of Grey Weapons falling back as the archers try and move forward and, you know, shoot at anything. I do think it's the state of the meta we're in that the Empire took, like, 3 infantry and the Beastmen just took 4 crappy spears. Infantry are not having a good day. The meta is not about infantry at all. It is the mass meta. Single entities, monstrous infantry, monstrous cavalry, and cavalry are the name of the game. Centaurs get a rear charge onto spearmen, maybe gonna rout them off, but Royal Dwarf Gryphites or Demigryph Knights or whatever you guys are, get a free rear charge onto them, so the Centaurs will not enjoy that as they start to run away. They are significantly faster, but still will take some damage on the way out. Meanwhile, the Gorgon has found his way towards the single entities of the Empire, currently fighting some spearmen, but he probably wants to deal with Volkmar. He will destroy Volkmar in melee. It will not even be close. But Volkmar is trying to bait him in for the Demigryph Knights with Halberds. Probably going to pop Grand Hammer of Sigmar. There it is. For the extra melee attack. And the Gorgon now starts to run away. Butchers of the Kalkengard still AFK too. They need to get moving forward. And the Beastmen don't seem to be moving all together. It feels like they're doing separate things at all times. Like the Centaurs kind of flanked and then they kind of ran away and then they got caught. The Butchers of the Kalkengard are just AFK. There's a lot of archers that are just AFK. So not amazing plays here from the Beastmen, unfortunately. Burning hit it onto some of the spears as the Royal Dwarf Gryphites continue to chase off Centaurs. Checked in on chat briefly. Malgore's still just roaming around. I don't know if he's been casting Flock of Doom or if he's been too far away. 700 value, so maybe he has been, but he needs to get in more Flock of Dooms. Meanwhile, Centaur is getting caught on the sides by Knights of the Black Rose. And they're very close to the white lines, so they might get pushed off too. Volkmar finally finds his way into the melee. Butchers of Kalkengard still AFK. They have 0 value so far in this game. As the double warrior priests, Volkmar and his little buddy, get into the fight. Again, they're just baiting so that the Demigryph Knights with Halberds can come in and get a rear charge off. Gorgon is in too, but those Demigryph Knights should be eating good. Yeah, they're eating really good. Already half health off the Butchers of Kalkengard. Gorgon's also taking a lot of damage. Centaurs start to join the fight, but the Royal Dwarf Gryphites are nearby. They provide terror. They do good work, and Pistoliers are firing in from the side. This is looking like the Empire is going to clean up. Good burning head through the Centaurs, again lowering their leadership so that the Royal Dwarf Gryphites can terror out them soon. But this fight is going to favor the Empire quite heavily. I mean, 2 Demigryph Knights Halberds just getting to chew through all these Beastmen. And they are taking a lot of damage, to be fair, but the Beastmen are taking more. And the Butchers of Kalkengard and the Gorgons are the big winners in this battle. So, like, if you can kill them off the Demigryph Knights with Halberds, then you've probably won the game at that point. The balance power is starting to agree. Gorgon is clinging to life, causes terror on the Demigryph Knights with Halberds regular. The Royal Dwarf Gryphites have to fall back. Volkmar and the Warrior Priests are starting to take a ton of damage, so this could turn on the Empire. The Knights of Black Rose are starting to come back from routing off Centaurs on the far side. We do need that extra cavalry. Pistoliers might want to dive into the back line and shut down these archers that have been firing into the fight. And Volkmar is getting very low on HP. Unbreakable and has regen and all that stuff, but, you know, dead people are dead. Can't heal that. Not the vampire counts. Volkmar's down to 1600 HP. Bounce power's back to 50-50. And in comes another burning head from the Empire. This one is more about routing them with the burnt leadership debuff than it is about doing real damage to the Centaurs. Volkmar is about to die, and another soul bombardment is down from the Warrior Priest, but Volkmar has officially died, and the Royal Dwarf Gryphites stayed out of that fight for too long. I appreciate they wanted to back off, and they're still trying to back off, but you gotta finish off some of this stuff, man. Butch Skelgar gonna heal, the Gorgon gonna heal, and Volkmar did need your help earlier. Rolldrift Griffite still just chilling. Big Flock of Doom overcast onto the Pistoliers. And the Empire, I gotta say, they kind of fumbled the bag on the ending here. Rolldrift Griffites pulled out. I get that they wanted to refresh their charge bonus, but they didn't come back in and just let Volkmar die. And then clumping up all of your Pistoliers for a big overcasted Flock of Doom is also very painful. And now you're targeting down Centaurs and not finishing off the Gorgon, not finishing off the Butchers of Calgard. We're just going to keep healing, keep providing terror. And that's probably GG out of nowhere. Oof. Oof, says I. Gorgon charges back in. That should rout off the rest of these guys, and army losses will take hold. Damn. Damn. Cavalry did fine for the Empire. All three of the heroes did alright. Pistoliers did well, paid for themselves. On the other side, the Gorgon got 3,500 value. Malagor did amazingly, Butcher Scout Guard did fine. Centaurs mostly got peeled off quite nicely. And then the archers got to fire for a lot. But, yeah. The spearmen and the Centaurs are dealt with nicely. Single entities, not as much. Why don't you see, for example, Huntsman Halberd box in this matchup? Just wondering why anti-cavalry isn't taken in the cav meta. You usually would see that in this matchup. But Flock of Doom being crazy strong right now dissuades a lot of tight formations. So you need to spread out so that Flock of Doom doesn't kill your entire army in 2 casts. But when you do that, you have to create holes and then the Beastmen can get through them. Also with a massive, like, a bunch of collision attacks got added to things. So with the Jabber Scythe, Minotaurs, Gorgon, things like that. If they charge through your infantry, they can kill infantry literally in 1 shot. If they're unbraced. And you can only have so many spears. So if you go spears, halberds, and huntsmen or whatever, Beastmen are just going to cast Flock of Doom and kite you a bit. It's a bit difficult. It can work. It can work. I don't think this green one build is meta. This is a wild, weird build. But yeah, you have to be careful with the huntsman stuff. I don't know. I played Lizardmen versus Zegzi's Beastmen the other day in a tournament. And I took Skinks. And realized why nobody's taking Skinks versus Beastmen at all, because Centaurs would charge my Skinks and literally break them on the charge. Like just 700 gold Centaurs, 750, whatever they are, charging my 325 gold Skinks, and just bam, 2/3 HP gone, my Skinks routed. And I was like, oh. Okay, well then that's happening. So I imagine the same happens to Empire Swordsmen. But to your point, you're asking about a spear and halberd box, not swordsman. Just saying, infantry are increasingly easy to kill, because CA gave a bunch of buffs to things to kill infantry, which, you know, that can be okay, but now we're just in the meta of, like, fast equals good. We'll see. It's always a balancing act where they, like, buff some stuff, nerf some other stuff, then give it a few patches, buff some stuff, nerf other stuff. Keeps the game interesting, but we're probably at the tail end of people's excitement about this current meta of monsters in my Discord, where my Discord's full of super try-hard, play the game all the time people. So for casual players, it might be like, I like the big monster meta. But I know a lot of the sweaty tryhards are pretty sick of watching big monsters dominate games. So it'll probably get changed. CA usually listens to the community, the temperature of the community, and make adjustments as they need to. The takeaways, Flock of Doom is insane. Yeah. Yeah, Flock of Doom's pretty crazy right now. Malagor is one of the best spellcasters for Flock of Doom, too. He has a lot of Winds of Magic regen, and he is so small and fast that he doesn't take overcast damage if he's moving. Anyway. On to the next game. Green one on the Vampire Counts versus Persian Warriors Tomb Kings. For the Vampire Counts, we have Manfred von Karstein with Spirit Leech, Gaze and Nagash, Zombie Summon, Invocation Heck. Then we have a Vargulf, a necromancer, some crypt horrors, zombies, skeleton warriors. Where's all your money? More Vargeist and Blood Knights. There we go. Vargeist and Blood Knights on the low ground. I was like, this isn't the whole build. On the other side, we have Grand Hierophant Cathay, who just got hit with an overcasted Gaze and a Gash. 3 Skeleton Horse Archers, 2 Sparkle Stalkers, Chosen Gods, Ushapti Grape of ROR, a bunch of Skeleton Spears, double Sphinx Usef, sorry, 1 Sphinx Usef, double Necro Sphinx, and of course Cathay, like we said, with Incantation of Vengeance, Protection, and Curse Blades. And hey, did I say something about big monster meta, and then we go into a game with 2 Necro Sphinxes versus a Vargulf and a Dragon? Did I, wait a sec, but I couldn't, but that's not, oh, it's exactly what I said it was. That's crazy. Wild. You guys were jumping around and not getting in a fight, and then I took a drink of my soda, and all of a sudden you're jumping in. What the heck? Dire Pack did a good fight on the Skeleton Horse Archers. I don't know why the Skeleton Horse Archers wanted that fight. That felt like a mistake, because they just jumped in onto the Dire Pack and died, so that's a oopsie. It's an oopsie poopsie. Sphinx of Usef, kind of waddling around trying to get into the fight, but janking it out. We have another Necro Sphinx not moving. Guys, get going. Come on. There we go. He's starting to move now, a little late, and the Tomb King's players' occasional micro mistakes here are costing him a lot. Lost a Skeleton Horse Archer for free, is losing a Skeleton Spearman for free, lost 3rd HP off Sepulchral Stalkers for free, and the Vampire Counts are making the most of it. Another Gaze in the Gash hits Cathay. Cathay only has the slow healing of the Tomb King's army passive and the Lord passive, so 2 or 3 more Gaze in the Gashes will kill Cathay outright. Next, Syrian's Incantation of Vengeance does a lot of damage to cavalry or monstrous cavalry type units, and we can see the Vargeist are not enjoying that at all. Taking a ton of damage, fighting Spore Stalkers, and getting shot by Skeleton Horse Archers. They will die quickly, but with Crypt Horror support and Manfred coming up behind, that should be fine. Manfred's going for the Lord Snipe onto Cathay, and Cathay did not keep either of his Necro Sphinxes nearby to protect him, so that is a mistake, and it might just cost the little Tomb King Lord his life. Because there's no one nearby to save him right now. Necro Sphinx might be pathing over, but it looks like it's still actually quite distracted. This is going to be a Vampire Count sweep. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Crypt Horse harassing the Chosen Gods, forcing a Skeleton Horse Archer to take a bad fight just to peel them off the Chosen Gods. Manfred is so close to finishing off Cathay. If he can just land one more hit on him, the Tomb King's Lord and Caster will be defeated. Sparkle Stalker is also going to die in this exchange. Another Sparkle Stalker is dying, and the double Necro Sphinxes. This one, okay, he's fighting Vargeist. I thought he was maybe just sitting here fighting Skeleton Spears, which is not worth his time at all, but he is trying to kill Vargeist. The other one is chasing around Blood Knights forever. Chosen Gods throw on guard mode. Point blank range, can get shots in. Somehow Cathay is still alive. A Spirit Leech trying to guarantee damage on him, just take him out, because he's been living in this blob fight for too long with very little protection. Just somehow Manfred was missing a bunch of attacks. The Direwolves are not able to kill him just yet, as a Skull Storm from Cathay rips through everybody, and Cathay at 400 HP is not crumbling. Manfred's up in the sky. Now he might just be waiting for another Spirit Leech to take Cathay out, guaranteed, not deal with this anymore, as the Blood Knights get a rear charge onto the Chosen of the Gods. We'll take them out quite quickly. And we see Tomb Kings fading all around the map. Still, Cathay is not crumbling. Casts a Curse Blades on himself for the cheapest spell he can possibly think of to get a little bit of that healing in. And Manfred's just going to land on him. Misses the landing attack. And then he tries to get back up into the skies. The Sphinx Usef comes over to do a little bit of protection. Manfred is going to get back up into the skies. Vargulf is going to Monkey Punch. Monkey Punch! And now Cathay should be dead, because with 100 HP, there we go. Second Monkey Punch just takes him down. Manfred can no longer get interrupted. No more cooldown disruption shenanigans from Cathay. Manfred's just going to lurk in the sky for a little bit. Being spooky. Being around. Has breath attacks. Has spells. Does he have the Sword of Unholy Power? He does not have the Sword of Unholy Power, so he can't just cycle charge skeletons to get a bunch of Winds of Magic for free. But the Sphinxes are going to start to go down soon. They do have Skeleton Spear support for now, but they're currently surrounded by enemy spears, Crypt Horrors, and all these Crypt Horrors and stuff are getting buffed up by the Corpse Guard. Better than Perfect Vigor, +5 melee attack, melee defense, getting healed, all the good stuff. Manfred, I wonder what you'd use your breath attack on. Do you use it on this clump of spears, or do you use it on the big single entities? Both are good options. I don't know which one is actually correct. Looks like he's going to go for the spears. Just getting rid of enemy support is huge in the monster fights. As we saw in the Chaos Dwarf game, the Cathay Fireborn were doing great when they had Goblin Laborers at their feet, keeping them safe from certain Seeker models. As soon as all the Goblin Laborers were gone, the Seekers just obliterated the Cathay Fireborn? The Fire Cathay-born Destroyers. Those ones. You know what I'm talking about. So, Breath Attack on the Skeleton Spear support is quite nice. Overcast Invocation hack on Manfred and the Blood Knights. Out comes the Ushapti summon from the Tomb Kings. But it's not going to be enough to keep them safe. Balance power is too low. Rear charge in from the Blood Knights should trigger army losses soon. That Skeleton Spearman faded away, and that is GG. You don't know the result of any of this? No. No, I don't. Manfred can't hit foot characters? Why not? I thought dragons were one of the few things that could hit foot characters pretty consistently. Imric's great at it. Imric kills foot characters all day long. Blood Knights, Vargolf did okay. Direpack did fine. Out of curiosity, who's Will? Will is Will. Will is not a tournament player you would know. Ryan G with the $20. What up, dude? I refuse to read your message. I refuse. I will not read it. Never. No, I will in a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, what do we have? All right, take umbrage with replacement of the Tithe for 100 more gold, 15 more armor, 2 more speed, 20% physical resistance, 30 more models, and 15% more HP, plus ROR stats. They usually require a unit 3 times their price to take them out. Fair. I usually just don't rate zombies very... I don't rate the Tithe very highly because they're double the price of a zombie. So I'm like, wait, I could take 2 zombies or I could take the Tithe. I'd just rather take 2 zombies. Now, obviously, if you're a 20 stack and you have 100 gold, you can just upgrade one of your zombies for the Tithe. That's probably worth it. But the vampire counts don't have any issues with their frontline lasting forever. They have issues dealing damage. So when you tell me they have a chaff upgrade that makes their frontline last even longer, I'm kind of like, oh, I guess I don't value that highly. I would rather something that deals damage, but yeah, you make good points. I probably underrate the Tithe. Fair. Fair. Should put some respect on their names. I don't, but I should. I won't, but I could. I shan't. Maybe I shall. All right, green one played Cathay versus Kislev. So now he's playing Kislev. Persian Warrior played Slaanesh versus Chaos Dwarfs. Now he's playing Chaos Dwarfs, and he is taking the triple Cathay Fireborn plus the Iron Demon ROR. Is this a secret Cathay Fireborn meta? Or are they trolling? Dolores Umbridge? Do you mean Umbridge? What? What? Okay. For Kislev, front line of Kislevite warriors, a Frostworm normal, and then a Frostworm mount for an Ice Witch of Tempest, the Hawks of Mishka, and Blizzard. Ooh, those are 2 pretty expensive spells to try and pop a lot of. Okay. Then we have some things in the woods, 3 of them, a Patriarch with just his heal, and then we have War Sleds, 2 heavy War Sleds, and a flanking triple Bronze Chevron Kosovo Dervish. Interesting. On the other side, Goblin and Orc Laborer front line, a lot of them. Triple Cathay Fireborn, Hashit Stark Ravagers, the Demon Stung Iron Demon ROR, and a Sorcerer Prophet of Hashit on a Lamasu mount. Enfeebling Foe, the Withering, and then Flames of Asgore for his spells, plus Vial of Hashit, so weakness to fire damage. Okay. Goblin Laborers route on the charge from the heavy War Sleds, and then the War Sleds retreat. That is classic Goblin Laborer behavior. Things in the woods, another heavy War Sled's going to charge into the Orc and Goblin Laborers once again. Oh, we're dying. Oh, the poor goblins. There go the Orc Laborers routing as well. And other Orc Laborers move up to take their place. Chaos Dwarfs starting to move up some of their faster mass units now to try and protect their front line, which is taking a lot of damage. Heavy War Sleds have to get out of here, and they're going to try and get away. Cathay Fireborn catch up, get a couple hits in here and there, just teensy little ones. Goblin Laborer is going to rout at full HP. Oh, it's so close to routing. Yep, there they go, routing at full HP. Frostworm, using its anti-large duelist stats to fight with the Cathay Fireborn a bit. Cathay Fireborn will beat it, obviously, on its own, but they have Kislevite warriors between their feet, so now you're fighting on enemy halberds. It's going very poorly for the Cathay Fireborn. They're actually getting wrecked as Things in the Woods and Heavy War Sleds still run into support. Heavy War Sled's just doing a great job of routing off all of the Goblin Laborers and Orc Laborers there could be. Hawks of Mishka cast out. Calcified Dwarfs is getting wrecked by the Cathay Fireborn, and the Hawks will not do that much damage to the Cathay. It's not enough models for them to get a bunch of damage out, but the minus 16 leadership was meant to kind of discourage them. Now, Cathay Fireborn aren't normal demonic units. They're unbreakable until they hit 25% HP, so they don't care about that debuff, so unfortunately a bit of a wasted Hawks cast. Elsewhere, though, one Cathay Fireborn is already fading away. Sorcerer Prophet of Hashit is maybe in a bad situation, but he has the Hash's Dark Ravagers nearby, and the Hash's Dark Ravagers will slap these Things in the Woods and the Heavy War Sled, so actually Kislev really wants to get out of this fight. This is a much better fight for them. Double Frostworm dealing with double Cathay Fireborn and even the Demon's Tongue. Ooh, but a Flames of Asgore is coming out. This could be a disaster for honestly everybody. The friendly fire is going to be insane, and I don't know who benefits more from it. The Iron Demon took so much damage. Overall, I think the Chaos Dwarves benefited from that, but that looked pretty rough for both sides. Kislevite Warriors still grinding through as the Frostworm and the Ice Witch of Tempest try and fight their way out of here. Hash's Dark Ravagers are back in. We do have some Heavy War Sleds using their guns to fire in as skirmishers, and we need more Kislevite Warriors to show up, get into the fight. A bunch of Laborers AFK on the sides do need to be recommanded to get back in the fight. Some of them are full HP, so I guess they've just never arrived at the fight. We are about to lose a Cathay Fireborn, so we're down to one Cathay Fireborn that's rather injured. Hash's Dark Ravagers at half HP, Iron Demons at below half HP. Sorcerer Prophet of Hash, it's fine. Snow Leopard Summon is out. A plethora of great targets for this little armor-piercing anti-large mini-duelist. He just needs to find a fight and take it. Kislev, a little behind on the bounce power. I don't know if it's that bad yet. We'll see. They still have healing from the Patriarch if he can rally. We still have a lot of ammo in the Heavy War Sleds, and a lot of the Chaos Dwarf healthy health bars are fraudulent laborers that if push comes to shove will rout at the drop of a hat. Things in the Woods coming back to the fight. Kislev's holding steady on that bounce power. The Hash's Dark Ravagers routing is pretty huge, and the Things in the Woods don't look like they're going to let those guys come back, so that is a pretty big win for Kislev that they needed. They did need that win badly. We still have two Cellar's Lullabies. If Kislev can slow this game down a little bit, they'll be fine. Balance of Power is creeping back towards the middle for them as the Cathay Fireborn get wiped out. Snow Leopard Summon, wherever that is either gone or about to be. There it is. 15 seconds left on him, so that'll get a little better for the forces of the Chaos Dwarves. Just one less healthy anti-large single entity running around. Iron Demon having a bad time fighting the Ice Witch. He is not an anti-large duelist. He is just kind of a strong duelist, but he's currently suffering from the Iron Demon problem of if he gets caught sideways, he has a very hard time turning while in contact with something. The Lamasu's going to chase down the Ice Witch. He does have a Silence Aura, so she can't use any spells while she's getting chased by him. He gets up into the sky. Iron Demon's going to chase her around. Try and use that flamethrower. Pew pew. Kislevite Halberds catching up. This should be the death of the Iron Demon as these little halberds poke at him. That should be enough damage to kill it off entirely. Bounce power is 50-50. The Iron Demon is gone, but Hash's Dark Ravagers somehow did rally, and they're going to beat up on the poor Frostworm, take it off the battlefield. But disaster strikes for the Chaos Dwarf. The Lamasu mount gets caught out. Things in the Woods, Patriarch, Heavy War Sled, everybody just staying in there. And he uses one last Flames of Asgore as a final middle finger to the Kislevites. Terror routes off a bunch of stuff, does good damage to the Patriarch, who he's also gonna rout away. But no, the Patriarch remains. Probably running over to cast Sullick's Lullaby right now. With a Heavy War Sled and his Lord on top of him, he should definitely be casting that. There it is. Oh, the Heavy War Sled didn't get the heal. That's pretty unfortunate. Elsewhere, Kislevite Warriors getting swamped by a sea of laborers, but no one cares. As the Chaos Dwarf Lord is dead, that will send all these laborers scattering because they're, you know, their enslaver no longer is alive to keep them working. So they get routing. Nah, they got fire resistance. They'll be fine. Sorcerer Prophet of the Month. pretty darn close game, but Kislev did clutch it out with some nice late game heals, but also that route on the Hash's Dark Ravagers with the Hawks of Mishka lowering their leadership and then getting rid of them with a rear charge. Sure, they came back later, but there was one terrible blob fight that was going horribly for Kislev, and just getting the Hash's Dark Ravagers out of it so you could kind of break away, reset, and then Persian sent his Lamasu mount after the single entities that were super low, but overextended away from any support, and then he died. Pretty brutal. So if the Hash's Dark Ravagers hadn't routed during that fight, Chaos Dwarfs probably would have won. Look at all those laborers with like 30 kills between them. Dude, Grieven, I feel like, were you the one I was talking to yesterday? But I've said this consistently, but I know I was talking to someone in chat yesterday, and we were both on the same page. I personally think laborers aren't worth their cost. Maybe I could hear an argument for orc laborers, but I think goblin laborers are like literally not worth it. I know they're only 150 gold, but I swear they're not even worth 150 gold. Like every time I play as Chaos Dwarves, every time I watch Chaos Dwarves and they have goblin laborers, I'm like, dude, just like honestly skip it. just honestly don't take them. Screw it. I would rather have no frontline than them. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater. So who won that one? That was green one. This is 3-3. Because we have another undead showdown. Though instead of Tomb King's Vampire Counts, we have Tomb King's Vampire Coast. Darko, the blurriness is on my end. It's not on your end. The blurriness is on my end. It's not on your end. Yeah, I've been tweaking with some settings to try and get my OBS to stop crashing, and it hasn't crashed this stream, but I also noticed the blurriness, so it's like, okay, improved stream quality might be worth OBS occasionally sending me a notification. But we're just going to get through this stream, and then I'll keep tinkering with it. Yeah. Boy, what else can we do to bring out the garbage chaff? Orc laborers or hobgoblins or Chaos Dwarf warriors, I suppose. But no, there's a reason I don't think Chaos Dwarves are a good faction right now. And a lot of it is they don't have any good infantry options, but I think goblin laborers for 150 are still just not worth it. Like, if you made goblin laborers 100, I might take them, but 150 is too crazy. Okay, game 7, currently 3-3. Skeleton Spear frontline for the Tomb King's triple Spoke Stalker, 2 Scream Skull Catapults, the Shop Grippo ROR, and then we have Skeleton Horseman and Carrion scattered around the outskirts of the battlefield, and then Ark in the Black with Fate of Boon and Spirit Leech. On the other side, for the Vampire Coast, Night Terrors, Animated Hulks, some Carronades, the Rotting Promethean ROR, Lamps Revenge, 4 Handgunners, Shade Wraith Gunners, Celestra Deer Fun, frontline of Zombies. For Celestra, she brought her double summons, Crabs, Ghost Knights, and Tidecall. Arkin is going to be very annoying for Celestra. Spirit Leeches will constantly sap her limited HP pool. She will not enjoy that. Arkin flies forward, throws out his quick Skeleton Warrior summon. He is going to send them straight to Shade Wraith Gunners, but man, he overextended. Thought he could be crafty, thought he could be quick. Thought he could jump over the candlestick, but instead the Shade Wraith Gunners just light him up and he's down to half HP. Carrion, meanwhile, dive onto Carronades. We do have Animated Hulks nearby that need to be activated. They need to run forward and stop the Carrion, but it looks like they are not aware of this yet. One is, but also Carrion are pretty tanky against Animated Hulks. Now the Animated Hulks are moving in. Celestra still getting Spirit Leech moving forward, and she is about to die. She is about to die so badly. That is a dead Celestra. She was trying to get over here for a crab summons. For some reason, these Spoke Stalkers are not shooting. They had attack orders, but just would not fire. So, unlucky there, as the Damn Knight's Errant Summon is already almost dead. It is charging the Chosen of the Gods, and it will get decent damage down, because they have full armor piercing, being ghosts and whatnot. Carrion's still trying to shut down the Carronades. One did get a Carronade, and now the Shade Wraith Gunners are attacked by a summon and a Carrion as well. Vampire Coast is up on the balance power for now, though they do have 2 summons out, to be fair. If those Carronades were triple silver chevron, they would have done some work there. True! As the second Carronade has faded, both Carronades are dead, and the Shade Wraith Gunners survived the attack from the Carrion and the Skeleton Summon. Meanwhile, the Vampire Coast summons, still in the backline causing havoc. Chosen the Gods finally did survive the damn Knights Errant, but we still have a Rotting Promethean summon being annoying, and the Night Terrors are going to come back here and say hello. I think they're trying to get on the Scream Skull Catapults, but they will get countercharged by Skeleton Horsemen, Sparklestalker shooting at them, so this is probably going to be a bad situation for the Night Terrors. They do have enough Vampire Coast moving up to help out a little bit. They should be okay. They're not completely left alone. Another Tide Call out on the Skeleton Spearmen. 2 more Spirit Leeches will kill Solastra. Arkin is probably banking those as best he can. Shade Wraith Gunners continue to poke him, force him away. A nice job taxing his HP pool so that he doesn't feel as comfortable to throw out Overcast Spirit Leeches so that he can do it from a distance. He will have to move back up into range to hit Solastra. Risking an Overcast at this low of HP, you could just kill Arkin off yourself, which would be a unmitigated disaster. Animated Hulks sprint through the front line. Skeleton Spears for the Tomb King, not able to cover enough ground to really keep these guys back, and Sparklestalkers are now forced to kite away from the Animated Hulks. Eyes of the Desert try and get a side shot down on the Night Terrors as they check in on Solastra. Shade Wraith Gunner still getting hit. We have some Animated Hulks in the back line that are not moving. Seem to be a forgotten by Persian Warrior here. Tide Call through. A new Shopti summon appears in front of the Lamper's Venge to slow them down a bit, let the Sparklestalkers get away. Chosen the Gods firing up and over into those guys, get a little bit of decent damage out. And Sparklestalker's kite continues. Bounce power is favoring the Vampire Coast, though another Spirit Leech hits Solastra. It was Overcast, so Harkin did decide to risk it, though I don't know if he needed it at that distance. I feel like he could have undercasted from that distance, but whatever. 1 more Spirit Leech and Solastra will die no matter what. Even if it doesn't kill her, it'll get her so low that she'll start crumbling. And we also have a Handgunner mob not moving at all. The Vampire Coast forgetting a decent number of units just in the back line doing nothing. Lamper's Revenge getting very low, though Arkin fighting with them seems a bit risky. Their point-blank shotguns can do a lot of damage, and as we've said, he doesn't exactly have the most HP to play with either. It's not like, oh, I'll take a little bit of damage and be fine. It's like, dude, if you take a little damage, you might die. Chosen the Gods still firing at whatever they can. Sparklestalker's still kiting back, but the Night Terrors have caught up to them, and the Night Terrors have that Frostbite. So now these guys are slowed down. The Chilling Aura and Frostbite lowers their speed to 16, so I think they just have to stop trying to kite and fight. They're gonna die, we acknowledge that, but it's better than constantly trying to run away at 16 speed. You're not getting away, and the Night Terrors will just get free hits on you. At least fight back. Arkin down to 600 HP. Looks like he did overcast another Spirit Leech, and that one damaged him, I would have to guess, because Solastra's gone, and he's sitting over here, so seems to add up that way. Bounce power is favoring the Vampire Coast, though, and I would agree. Night Terrors continue to chase down the Sparklestalkers, who refuse to stand in fights. They're just taking free damage as they try and run away. You guys have to fight. Like, this is absolutely trolling. You can't outrun them. And if you're running away, you're not swinging back. I dislike it. Arkin is a Skeleton Warrior summon out, and something, looks like some handgunners, poked him enough to get him down to 197 HP, but he rallies at 0 leadership. Gets back up to 6. Now some handgunners are firing over at the Ushapti Greatbows who are hiding in the forest. The forest is only going to protect them so much, though. It's a pretty sparse forest. Some of the bullets get blocked, but some are still getting through, and your Ushapti's still taking damage. Also, they only have 5 ammo left before they're going to have to run out and participate in the fight. 1 leadership on Arkin. I honestly want these handgunners just to go on guard mode and fire at him quick. Yeah, these ones are. Just 1 shot at him, whether it hits or not, will lower his leadership enough that it'll just start crumbling, so good job killing him off. Balance power tips against the Tomb Kings dangerously far, and the Vampire Coast will win. Decent value on Arkin. Skeleton Horsemen did their best to block. Some Carrion did okay, killing off Carronades. Sparklestalkers didn't get a lot of value, but they had to kite super cheap animated Hulks. So it's understandable that they didn't get that much value. Catapults in their shop did alright. For Persian Warrior, Solastra did fine with their summons. Handgun mobs did pretty well, as they usually do, except for the one that got literally forgotten in the distance. Shade Wraith Gunners did okay, Animated Hulks did okay, Night Terrors did pretty darn well, actually. And Carronades still got some value, considering they got dove immediately by Carrion. What happened to Morgels to make them not garbage anymore? They got some buffs, didn't they? I don't remember what the buffs were exactly, but I think the last actual balance patch, not a hot fix, the last balance patch gave Morgels a pass, and they got some buffs. I know they got Frostbite to slow stuff down that they make contact with, and then the Night Terror's got the Chilling Aura plus Frostbite. But I think they just got a couple damage upgrades or something. Plus, we're in the mass meta. So, they have mass. Therefore, they are meta. Okay, so who won that one? Persian? I'll give Persian his point behind the blocker. Boom. 4-3. In a best of 11, first to 6 will win, so Persian needs 2 more wins to win. Outright. We're on to game 8. Somehow, at game 8, we still have Demons of Chaos and Grand Cathay available, but I guess that's what we're doing. Green one on Demons of Chaos, Persian Warrior on Grand Cathay. We have Hellforged Bellowers and double Death's Head Kite versus Grand Cathay. Grand Cathay has 2 Carronades, though, so we'll see if the Hellforged Bellowers can successfully dodge 2 Carronades at once. Okay. I was checking in on chat for a second. So Demons of Chaos bring in a mass flyer build. We do have the Frolickers, Bubonic, and some Blue Horrors on foot, but it's mostly going to be about the Hellforged Bellowers trying to kite out Grand Cathay. And then after you kill all their range, then your aerial units can just fly over and do whatever they want. I'm surprised the Grand Cathay cannons missed all those shots on the Hellforged Bellowers that were just driving straight at them. I wasn't even trying to dodge. Now it's starting to dodge a little bit. On the other side for Grand Cathay, though, we do have a Yang caster with Jade Shield and Dragon's Breath. And then we have the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, the Emperor's Chrome and Onyx Chroman, Jade War Drum, the Zhengdu War Drum ROR. Then we have Peasant Long Spears, Jade Warrior Halberds in a box, double Carronade, and the Grace of Ki-In Celestial Dragon Crossbows. You can see that the Hellforged Bellowers is very squishy. So it's good at dodging, but for any cannonballs that actually hit, it takes so much damage. And hey, do you remember earlier in this stream when I said there's some hard-coded miss but not miss stuff? That was one of them. Do you see that? It was aiming at the Jade Warriors, and then 2 of the bolts missed the Jade Warriors, but happened to perfectly hit the cannon models behind them. That's one of those like, oops, that's a coincidence. That's a coincidence that this keeps happening. What crazy RNG. Which it's not. It's hard-coded to do that. There is a chance that like you'll miss your intended target and hit another target, or miss your intended target and hit a friendly unit, as I accidentally hit tab. And this is showing that perfectly, as like it keeps perfectly hitting something. Now, obviously, sometimes it just hits the ground, but I'm just saying, some of these things, it's like, oh wow, that's random. It happens quite a lot. Hellforged Bellowers get another shot in. They're trying to counterfire the cannons. Takes out 3 of the cannon models with that volley that it's been softening up for a while. And Segos calls white line camping and says, boo. Segos, you sent me these replays. This is your internal event. There's a rule break. You had to deal with it. Not my problem. I didn't do this. Hellforged Bellowers get another shot onto the Great Cannon, the Grand Cannon. No hold for now. Just barely missing the Hellforged Bellowers there. And this one cannon model is going to turn and start shooting at Khorne's Bloody Fist. Not going to bother shooting at the Hell Cannon any further. And a Jade Shield to give it damage resistance. I sense a nasty volley coming. Yeah, good shot. Hellforged Bellowers take out the last of that first cannon's model. The second cannon's going to keep shooting at it. Has almost killed it off. And a Fate of Buna is out from apparently the Herald of Nurgle has death. I kind of assumed he would be a Nurgle caster. Caster Razorcorn diving in on the Grace of Ki-In. Trying to take those guys out. But Onyx Chroman should dive down on them. This should be okay. And the cannons continue to harass the Hellforged Bellowers. Which if Green One is going to continue dodging correctly, he is going to be sacrificing his micro on other units. So he will end up with some bad situations. But Khorne's Bloody Fist, plus the Angel's Decay, plus the Herald of Nurgle, and that Fate of Buna going to take out the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin. Very expensive unit gone. from the battlefield. I do think Grand Cathay is in a bit of trouble. Still have a cannon firing at the Hellforged Bellowers, but they look like they'll survive as the Furies in melee are starting to kill those Grand Cathay cannon models themselves. This is something that I notice a lot, and I mentioned it on the artillery tier list that had mixed reviews from chat. But Grand Cathay cannons do a lot of damage and stuff, but they also, I feel like units are really good at targeting the cannon models, not the crew. And already you see this cannon's down to one model, and all the ranged fire is going onto this cannon itself. It's not going for the crew. So boom, all the cannons are gone. Grand Cathay is down to just infantry and one archer, meaning the Hellforged Bellowers should be able to infinitely kite from here, though they don't have a lot of ammunition left. And everything over here is a spear, so maybe they'll take a lot of damage charging in. Who knows? Khorne's Bloody Fist dives in. Gonna start slapping around random Cathay troops as the Plague Drones. Ooh, this is a disaster. Okay, Plague Drones with their little Death's Heads things are gonna fire into this giant blob and kill them off, so Cathay does not. I mean, this might be doomed because they've lost all agency. Now they just have melee infantry in the Grace of Kian. But this blob is objectively incorrect. You just can't do this because if these grenades start firing at all, they're gonna do insane damage to your blobbed up units. Blue Horrors fire in, the Hellforged Bellowers fire in too. Oh, I'm not excited for this volley. Well, I am a little bit, but he's obstructed. He's not going to shoot at this giant blob. I mean, the player is trying to, because he just gives attack orders on the blob, but the Hellforged Bellower specifically wants to shoot apparently right here. You can't see it. Something is happening. Mark of Ian onto the Khorne's Bloody Fist. Grace of Kian got to safety briefly as Plague Drones with Death's Heads deal with it, but Skull Cannon should be able to see now. It's still trying to shoot the Grace of Kian. Dude, just shoot this giant blob. It's a giant freaking blob. Just shoot it. Do it. Do it. Do it, you coward. Oh, he's not going to. He doesn't want to punish the giant blob, I suppose. Could Righteous Lances have killed the Skull Cannon? Honestly, no idea what their unit interactions like. No, most likely not. If they got a full surround on it and locked it in place, yeah, they could easily kill it, but I imagine that they would just pile up behind it and then the Skull Cannon would just drive forward and be fine. There's the Skull Cannon shot I was waiting for, as all these guys have to waddle through the burning fires and take a lot of damage. Skull Cannon has one more shot. If he uses it on that blob, it might trigger army losses as the Herald of Nurgle chases around the Shugenin Lord. Blue fire just hits these guys a little bit, does a little bit of damage. That is GG. There you finally get to see Demons of Chaos being Demons of Chaos. I feel like I've been saying they're strong for a while, and I'm not the only one. Like, obviously, a lot of people around my Discord are saying the same thing. I'm not taking credit. But I feel like I keep saying this, and then people take the same 2 Seekers, 2 Heart Seekers, Lord, and then the Hellforged Bellowers, and then your opponent just counters the Seekers, kills the Seekers, and then you lose on army losses immediately. And I'm like, I promise Demons of Chaos are really good. We just aren't seeing their faction diversity coming into play. Because Changebringer Kite is really annoying, the Death Heads are really annoying, the Hellforged Bellowers is really annoying, Seekers are really annoying, etc., etc. But I feel like people just keep taking the Seekers and just keep losing, and then like chat's like, this guy's making a big deal out of Demons of Chaos for no reason. They don't seem that bad. I'm like, I promise you, they're strong. I mean, good game by Green One. Very, very well executed. Not the most, like, not the easiest thing to cheer for, just watching Hellforged Bellowers and Sky Cheese win a game. I get that, but it was objectively well executed. He did a good job. His dodging with the Hellforged Bellowers was really on point. Very few cannon shots hit it. Even while microing his other units, he was dodging a lot of stuff, so that was well played, well executed. Good job. Fort Fort. Next up is our first Skaven of the day. I think first Skaven of the day. Holy shit, he's stealing my build. You're stealing my build, and you don't even know why. If Persian wins, I get to take partial credit because this is the build I took in the World Cup versus Wicked for the Beastmen. You make a Skaven box. You make a Skaven box with, I used double Chieftain on Bonebreakers. But the Avalanche Mortars forces the Beastmen into you. You have double Warp Grinders to lock them in combat with your box when they arrive. And then you have Rat Ogres for mass and stuff like that. And Skrulk is really good at punishing front lines and killing off their infantry. Now, I didn't take double Mutant Rat Ogre. I took double Chieftain on a Bone Breaker because they're a little bit cheaper, and the Mutant Rat Ogres, I feel like, have worse animations. Like, they'll do a lot more jumps more frequently and get themselves out of position. Also, this box is very tight. I had these slaves around to make my box spread out more, so Malagor couldn't just do that to me. Just Flock of Doom. But, yeah, also spreading out like this gives them things that they can attack without coming over to the death ball, the death area. They can just attack your Skaven slaves while Malagor casts Flock of Doom over and over again. So I'm not a huge fan of this deployment, because this is too tight. Like, I was talking to someone in chat earlier, and I don't know if he's still here, but we were talking about the Empire versus Beastmen. And he was saying, like, why don't you see Huntsman boxes? Is because Flock of Doom is just going to do this to you, right? Over and over again. So you gotta spread out, and when you spread out, the Beastmen can find the cracks. Roughly the idea. Does this not count as 2 nets? You can have 2 nets as long as they're untargetable, which these nets just happen around the unit. It's kind of the same as, you know, the Night Goblin War Boss. People keep taking Tormentor Sword and Fermented Fungi. Fermented Fungi is a targetable net, and the Tormentor Sword isn't. It's just a circle that happens around him. Is that Artorias and Sif fighting Queek? Hell yeah, it is, Clamp. I commissioned that art. It's my favorite thing. I have it on a poster behind me, actually. If the camera was on, you could see it, but that camera was blurry as hell. Warp Grinders, Warp Grind nothing. A bit of a whiff, a bit of a whoopsie, and the Beastmen have a full surround. To be also fair to my build, I did it on a smaller map than this. I did it on Pillar of Bone, so they couldn't outrange my Avalanche Mortars. Like right now, they're just kind of sitting on the outskirts where the Avalanche Mortars can't reach. Malagor's about to get another juicy Flock of Doom any second now in this area. He's already gotten how much value? 1,500 value off of 2 overcast Flock of Dooms. Bomb. Another big Flock of Doom onto these guys. Rat Ogres finally get the fight on the Jabberscythe. One last thing on this formation. We also have the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers in the middle. They shouldn't be in the middle. You shouldn't have any units in the middle. You need to get this box as large as possible to spread out so you don't all get Flock of Doom. Putting units in the reserve in the middle and having all these Skaven slaves out here doing nothing tightens the box so much that now everything, even your reserves, are getting hit by the Flock of Doom. So, I don't know. I don't like it. Don't position that close against Flock of Doom. Double Mutant Rat Ogre fighting the Jabberscythe, doing great jobs there. Centaurs with great weapons try and help fight, but there's a lot of clan rats they can't deal with, so they do need to run away. Malagor is just chomping at the bit for another Flock of Doom. They're clumping up so much! Why are we clumping up so much? No! You're gonna get hit with a Flock of Doom, but also you're not bracing anybody for the rear charges. No, you're just all moving together as a clump! You can't do it! Sick commission, not gonna lie, although Dark Souls versus Warhammer power scaling is kind of hilarious. Yeah, no. Dark Souls wouldn't stand a chance against Warhammer power scaling. More importantly, he doesn't die from the 2/3 volleys from the Hellforge Bellers. Yeah. I mean, Zaytank's pretty good at dealing with Hellforge Bellers, it's true. Skrulk throws out a Clan Rat summon, but now all the Skaven are starting to fall apart. Double Mutant Rat Ogre are going to beat up on the Jabberscythe, but at what cost? But at what cost? The rest of the build is going to die while that happens. Skrulk finally gets off a really good Rod of Corruption. Does a ton of damage to Centaurs all around him, so I love that. Good job, Skrulk. You are my bestest little boy. But a lot of shattering is appearing, meaning the Skaven get depleted further and further. If the Beastmen have time, they can just back off. Is that a Doom and Darkness? You cheeky sir, that is a Doom and Darkness. You are a bully. You are not a nice man. Doom and Darknessing the Skaven so that they rout even faster, leaving the Mutant Rat Ogres all alone, and even going to rout one of the Mutant Rat Ogres, which again, since the Beastmen have the mobility element, if anything routes, it's most likely not coming back if Green 1 / the Beastmen are on top of their micro. Centaurs charge this Rat Ogre just as it was starting to come back. Other Mutant Rat Ogre is still Doom and Darkness for 9 seconds. Can he rout it? If he does, that might be army losses, as Skrulk will be the only thing still fighting. He is not able to rout it, though. Doom and Darkness wears off. The Mutant Rat Ogre should be fine, but surrenders anyway. I wish I never used that build. You gotta spread it out! You gotta spread it out! Also, Mutant Rat Ogres aren't as good as the Chieftains. Chieftains are cheaper and better. On the same mount, you just sacrifice the magic damage, but Beastmen don't rely on physical resistance, so who gives a crap about giving up the magic damage? This looks fine. Malgor and the Beastmen just split everything up and won that way. No infantry, no archers. Classic Beastmen meta build. Infantry are dead. No infantry. Last game is Warriors of Chaos versus Tzeentch. Green one taking some Rot Knights, and Valkia versus Persian Warrior trying to kite with a Soul Grinder, an Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, and Kairos. Segos, yesterday you were saying Kairos is OP, so he better win, Segos. You're gonna look silly. Just rename the faction to Centigorman. At this point, I mean, yeah. Okay, Tzeentch has a teeny tiny box in the corner. A Soul Grinder of Tzeentch and Kairos Fate Weaver with Blue Fire and Tzeentch's Firestorm. On the other side for the Warriors of Chaos, it is Marauder Horsemen of Khorne and Marauder Horse Masters, throwing axes or spears, respectively. Rot Knights, Rotting Riders, Soul of Damnation, a Shadows Cast with Pitishades and Melkots, and then a couple Marauders, but still, like, no infantry here. Also, I think did you break the mark rules? No, there's 2 Marauder Horse Masters. Okay, I was gonna say, because you have 2 Marauder Horsemen of Khorne, that's 2. Valkia is 3, and then you have 2 Rot Knights, that's 5. So I thought you had 6 marks, which I thought the limit was 4 or 5. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch has received a couple nerfs over the many months, so it's not nearly as oppressive as it used to be. Blue Fire, I don't know if Blue Fire's been nerfed, but I feel like other spells have been buffed. So we'll see. But teeny tiny little Chaos Warrior of Tzeentch box and Chosen of Tzeentch with halberds. We have the Sour Guts and an Exalted Flamer in the center of the box, and then Soul Grinders and Kairos. Times 3 speed. Dun 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 dun. Soul Grinder trying to shoot Valkia, and then Skirmish Cav come to do. Skirmish Cam ba-dum 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 bum ba-dum ba-dum. Skirmish Cav doing skirmish stuff, and they're skirmishing around while the Soul Grinders run and Blue Fire run, and let's get our barriers back and do it all again. Hell Cannons firing in onto halberds, and then Kairos goes forward with a little bit of barrier, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna cast Blue Fire, then I'm gonna run away. Hey, Pitishades, you did half damage off of a random halberd guy. Hell Cannons firing in, and the Soul Grinder's running around. He's like, no, I gotta run away and get more barriers again, and so does Kairos, and Kairos has to get more barriers again, and all these guys are kiting around because they're like, I need to get my barriers back, and then more Blue Fire spam, and then little guys, and then all this stuff, and then yada yada, and oh my gosh, a melee fight's happening. Marauders charging the Chaos Warriors. This will decide the whole game. Fierce Lopnir through these halberds. Meanwhile, an Exalted Flamer gets a really good shot onto Rot Knights. Valkia charges forward, but the Rotting Riders catch out the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, and if they can get a good surround on it, which they usually don't, but if they can stop it from getting back to its halberds. Tier 3 armor ability of Tzeentch on the Soul of Damnation might kill the crew, maybe. Pitishades onto the Sour Guts is quite nice. And the Tier 3 armor ability of Tzeentch does kill the Hell Cannons. There is no more Hell Cannon. As Valkia dives into the center, the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch does fire at her at point-blank range. All the skirmish cav fighting around, and Kairos is already at half HP. The Tzeentch halberd blob / box thing is slowly dying. One halberd is close to dead. Sour Guts pretty close to dead. Kairos, like I said, half HP. As the Exalted Flamer's taking a lot of damage, though he's already used most of his ammunition, so he's got out a lot of his value. Rot Knights charging in as well. The Soul of Damnation still says firing, but I swore you died. I don't know. If I see a giant fireball, I see a giant fireball, but I think it died. Tzeentch's Firestorm out of the Marauder Horse Masters. They see it coming just a little bit late. Do dodge most of it, though, so they're fine. Exalted Flamer gets another shot out. Valkia is busy killing Kairos, because Kairos is so OP that he's going to die to Valkia while surrounded by his own halberds. I still think Kairos just isn't that great after getting nerfed. He's okay. He's not that great. Tzeentch halberds, just fighting where they can. Sour Guts are about to die. Melkoth's draining them down further. Kairos is almost dead. Balance power is 50-50. Bothers me incredibly that they named the lore of beasts and wild the way they did, which we call the exclusive lore of the Beastmen. Wilds. Easy. Easy clap. Kairos barely alive, but he is alive. He's going to throw out a blue fire towards more of the skirmish cavalry. He really hates these Marauder Horse Masters and Horsemen of Khorne, I guess. But the Tzeentch Halberds are not doing amazing. Valkia is about to get hit. Does she have Demon Shield? If Demon Shield's up cooldown, that could actually be clutch, but otherwise she's about to take a nasty Bolt of Chain, take a lot of damage. In comes the Spirit Slaanesh, so that's good. A lot of damage onto Valkia. She is going to try and retreat. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch is almost dead. Exalted Flamer is almost dead. Kairos is almost dead. We still have Chaos Warriors. We still have a Chosen. No, the Chosen are actually messed up. Ooh, just 2 Chaos Warriors. If one of these healthy guys was the Chosen, I'd be a little more optimistic on Tzeentch's chances, but since they're both just Chaos Warriors, I mean, they die pretty quick. Rot Knights are just going to Cycle Charge and keep healing. Soul Grinder is faded away. Kairos gets away and uses Blue Fire. Valkia still does not have Demon Shield up, but Blue Fire does not hit as accurately as it did on Warhammer 3 launch, so Valkia's teeny tiny, dodges a lot of it. Kairos, I don't know if you want that fight, dude. I know you have your Oracle of Eternity, that's 44% damage resistance, but Valkia is 100% going to kick your ass. Bruh, you don't want this fight. You're 33-20 melee stats versus 54-55 with anti-large. You gotta go. He is not going. Tzeentch's Firestorm is out. Gaze of Fate to lock the Marauder Horsemasters in place, but they are already in range to throw at Kairos, so they could. I don't think they have Fire at Will on, otherwise they'd be throwing at him. Marauder Horseman throwing axes, trying to get up there. Valkia, Demon Shield is popped after taking the Blue Fire, but she'll hold on. She'll chase Kairos. Dude, use your ammo. Shoot him! Shoot him! Use your ammo! Throwing axes should throw at halberds, because throwing axes do armor-piercing damage and they can't hit flying units for crap. But these javelin throwers should be throwing at Kairos. They waited too long, now they're trying to do it, but Valkia will take out Kairos on her own. Rot Knight's still cycle charging in and out. The Rotting Rider's cycle charging in and out. We still have 2 healthy halberds of Tzeentch and a Chosen with 1/3 HP, 1/3. Kairos is gone. In comes a Bolt of Change. Will it kill Valkia? She used Demon Shield. We know it's not up. Does not kill her. Gets her crazy low. Does not kill her. Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma from the Warriors of Chaos caster. As long as he doesn't die, he can keep spamming those out. Rotting Riders and Rot Knight's going to charge in from both sides, trying to get these guys to rout. Now that they lost their lord, they are susceptible to routing. There they go. Easy enough to just chase them off the battlefield at this point. Valkia needs to stay safe, stay alive. Melkoth's caster needs to stay safe, stay alive, and just spam out Melkoth's, and he will secure the victory most likely. Kind of surprised the Exalted Flamer is still hanging around considering how low on HP it is, but it has been sitting in its own halberd, so I suppose it's not taking that much damage. Rot Knights jump in, do need to hop back out. They're fighting halberds, so they can't stay in the fight. Especially these Rotting Riders have been taking a lot of damage, so I think they've probably been overcommitting to fights. Skirmish Cav need to be used to chase down all the things that are routing. If any of them come back, that is a big old whoopsie from the Warriors of Chaos, as I saw another Melkoth's going out from the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows, so it's definitely got some oomph left in him. Chosen of Tzeentch are routing away. Last Chaos Warrior Halberd is just chilling. The mass is all cycle charging. Valkia for leadership, thinking about routing. Probably needs to sit still and just get her vigor back so that she doesn't have a random route, which would be a big problem. Like I said, a little sloppy here from the Warriors of Chaos. They're going to maybe allow this Chosen to rally. I see attack orders onto it from that Rot Knight now, so there we go. Nice. Yeah, they can't let any of this stuff rally or they're going to be doomed. So they just got to buy time by chasing stuff down and allowing their Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows to cast Melkoth's whenever he can. But he's just going to dive into Halberds and take a couple hundred HP for no reason. Didn't love that. Nice recharging from the Rotting Riders. They do cause terror, which is nice. The Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch do not have ITP. Valkia's hovering up above. Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch still getting run down by these Knights. Rotting Riders in. But the Shadows caster just throwing his life away was a little suspicious. I don't know why he charged into Halberds at all, and now he is dead. And if you had any Winds of Magic left, you just lost it. Valkia randomly routes because she's exhausted. Well, she's very tired, but you get the point. So she routed. I think that's her second route. If she routes one more time, she'll shatter. Big surround, though. The Chaos Warriors losing leadership, and if they tear her out, it is over. They got down to 9 briefly, down to -7, back up to 18. They'll be okay. And more cavalry are starting to rout away. Valkia is back. Please rest her. Please rest her. Don't move her in. She's just gonna shatter. She has 1 leadership. She can't do this. Rest her. Just don't move her. No. Oh, why are you here? Oh, thankfully the Chaos Warriors, Tzeentch are just gonna rout anyway as Valkia jumps in. She takes damage. She pops Demon Shield to not take any damage whatsoever at all. The Rotting Riders come back and they will immediately tear out the Chaos Warriors with the Halberds, and that is enough to win it, though Valkia did just rout again. But it's GG anyway. Overly aggressive play. And no, she didn't rout earlier, so she did just rout, not a shatter. Then that's fine, but I thought she was gonna shatter. A weird last game. A shout out to the days of old where Tzeentch was everyone's favorite faction and loved to just delay games with crazy Soul Grinder and Blue Fire Kite with a halberd box. Oh, Tzeentch. Oh, Tzeentch. It's funny because Tzeentch, out of the 4 Chaos factions, Tzeentch is probably my favorite to play, but they can also be my least favorite to play. If they do this kind of style, it's just, I don't personally find it interesting, but I really like Zongor frontline, blue and pink horror backline, a couple Chaos Knights, and a Herald of Tzeentch. I really like that style of gameplay. I think it's very fun to fight against and fight as, but then you fight something like this and it's like, listen, even if I win, I'm not gonna have a good time. Even if I win, I don't know if I'd do that again. 5v5, 5-5, so it's a close one. That would be 6-4. So green one wins in a 10-game series. Boom. Done. Nice job, green one. He holds on to ODM leadership, fending off the attacker, the Persian warrior. It was a short stream, hour and a half. Pumped through 10 games nice and fast. Thanks to Segos for sending me the replays. Thanks to ODM for organizing the event. I'm going to leave you now. Goodbye. Is there anybody we should be rating? Possibly, potentially. I mean, 6-4 is still close. It was 1 game off of the maximum amount of games, right? There. Tequila Sunset's not streaming for a while, but I'll raid his stream anyway so people know it exists. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.